Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VoV podcast, Voices of Vic. Today I am here with Sooraya Rosanally. Is that how you pronounce the name?
Close.
Close. How do I do it? Please correct me.
Sooraya. I was like a nerd, full on nerd. I'm gonna put that out there. I had like a god complex when it came to my intelligence.
Yeah.
It was my dream to go to Harvard. Afterwards, when I got sick, I was like, okay, look, I have to stay here for 6 kids anyways. Why move?
Do you think the U of T's competitive culture is good or bad thing?
Honestly, my end goal this life is to become rich. I want those Louboutins, you know. If they know you, they'll grade you less harsh.
You think so?
Trust me. Yes, I know so.
I am not a bio student, but I respect the bio students because I was so out of place.
I heard like people nowadays, they don't know how to hold eye contact.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's people are disrespectful, or do you think people are just afraid and nervous and shy?
I focus on myself. I pray. I look at what's wrong with me. And also, in general, like, I know people don't want to say that because looks don't matter and blah, blah, blah. But when you look nice, people treat you better.
It's true. Like, I think people know when they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Like, I know I sometimes get caught on Instagram. It's not like I defend it, though. There are people who are like, no, it's fine. You could scroll, blah, blah, blah. No, it's fine. I can go get drunk every weekend. No, it's fine. I can do all this, blah, blah, blah. I sometimes get caught doing things I'm not supposed to do, but then I come on here and I'll be like, yeah, this is actually not good for you. You ready? Let's go.
Okay, great.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VoV podcast, Voices of Vic. Today I am here with Sooraya Rosanally. Is that how you pronounce the name?
Close.
Close. How do I do it? Please correct me.
Sooraya. Yeah.
Sooraya Rosanally. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure.
You are a fifth year cells and systems biology student.
Yes. Cell and systems biology major,
Yep.
double minoring in immunology and biology.
Okay, awesome. So life science all the way.
All the way.
There you go. You are born and raised in Toronto.
Yes.
Ethnically, you're Mauritian.
Yes.
I have tons of high school friends from Mauritius.
Pretty sure we went to the same high school, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah, GSF.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How did I not know this?
I thought that's why you originally followed me on.
No, I'm blown away by that.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there we go. You're older than me though, 2 years.
3 years older than you.
3 years.
I was born in 2001.
2001.
Actually. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm 2003.
Yes.
So
you're 2003? Yes.
Yeah.
2 years.
2 years. Okay. I honestly had no idea. Are you related to anyone that I know?
Do you know Yusra?
Yusra?
Yeah, she was in your grade, I believe. That's my cousin.
Your cousin.
Yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah.
I should have known this. Well, there we go. We already have a connection off the bat. That's fantastic. What are the odds? I would make jokes all the time to my friends, being like, here's a map of all the Mauritians in the world. You have 50% in Mauritius and then 50% at JSF. They're all, everyone's there.
Yeah, we're all there.
Yeah,
we're all there.
Absolutely. So yeah, some of my closest friends. That's awesome. I had no idea. I was looking up news about Mauritius, and apparently like a few hours ago it broke that they were blocking social media because they have elections coming up. Did you hear about this?
I haven't. Actually, I don't follow a lot of Mauritian news.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, but I feel like it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
That's
I don't
fair.
really, but which is sad, I feel, because I do want to follow what's happening in the country where, you know, my parents were born and raised, but I don't feel that deep of a connection there.
Yeah.
Because I think last time I went there, I got super sick. Like, I think my body rejected the country.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
A week into it, I got super sick, and I had to go through emergency surgery and all that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's intense.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah.
From what? Was it from food? Was it from
Interception. So basically, I had this, I believe, prior condition when I was in Canada, and I didn't know I had it, but like an infection triggered it when I went there.
Yep.
And then part of my intestine, so my ileum, my small intestine, it necrotized, and it was almost gangrenous. And they had to remove 30 centimeters out of my intestines, and I stayed in Mauritius in the hospital in the ICU for like 3 months, and then I came back to Canada and I stayed at Sick Kids for 3 months.
That is insane. Wow. So off the bat, and then you're a life science student. So, okay, when you get sick like that, does part of your curiosity start peaking, being like, I want to learn what's going on inside of my body?
Well, actually, yeah. I originally had intended, prior to going back to Mauritius, I intended to apply to do engineering.
Yeah.
Because I wanted the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then afterwards, when I got sick, it got interesting because at some point, I don't know if this is TMI, but at some point I actually saw my intestines.
Jeez.
Like I saw it.
How?
And
What do you mean?
because in Mauritius, like it's a third world country, right? So they don't have that good of healthcare. should I keep this up?
That's
I don't know.
perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, great. They don't have that good of a healthcare system. It's not their fault. It's corruption and small island, you know. So I was severely malnourished when I was sick because they didn't have that good of, you know, intravenous food and all that.
Yep.
So yeah, so basically I got severely malnourished and my skin, okay, I don't know if this is TMI, but my skin separated on my stomach and my muscles too.
Wow.
So there's basically like a hole.
Yeah.
They gave me local anesthetic to stitch it up one day, and I could just see it because you don't have pain receptors on your internal organs, so you can't really feel it. So they were like, well, we're stitching up your intestine. Might as well just put it around the skin because there's already a hole there. But okay, I'm fine now. That was a long time ago.
How old were you when that happened?
I was going on 16.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay. So yeah,
so I was 15 going on 16. I actually spent my 16th birthday in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a story to start off with because my brother had something where his appendix burst over Christmas time.
Oh no.
And there's a terrible story. He was like maybe 7 years old. So he was a lot younger when this happened. But anyways, he was stuck in the hospital for Christmas, and I was with my grandparents. And basically, my grandparents had my gifts from Santa because I was younger then, and his gifts as well. And they tagged the wrong gift.
Oh no.
And I got one of Troy's, that's my brother, Troy's gifts tagged to me. And then I opened it up and I was like, oh my God, it's a Lego set, blah, blah, blah. I don't even remember what Lego set it was, but I opened it up, I was like, this is awesome. And then my grandparents realized they made a mistake because that Lego set was for Troy. And apparently, I don't remember being this much of an asshole as a kid, but apparently I wouldn't give the gift back to my brother because Santa gave it to me.
Oh no.
So there's another self-deprecating story there. We're talking about you got sick, I was a piece of garbage to my brother, and whatever, we're here, we're moving on.
Yeah, right. We've grown as people, you
Absolutely.
know? We've changed as people. They made us stronger.
Exactly, 100%.
Yes.
So I was going to start into asking you more about cells and systems biology, and then maybe also like the other clubs you're in, because you said you went to Sick Kids when you got here, but the U of T SFS, is that a Sick Kids
No,
club?
that's languages. So I was really passionate about languages back then. I guess, I don't know, I wanted to keep my French because let's face it, if you're bilingual, trilingual, know a bunch of languages, you have more opportunities in the work areas in general.
What does SFS stand for?
School French Speaking Society. So it's
Oh,
basically an engineering
okay.
club. So I got involved in it because ironically, the president of that club also went to GSF with us, and she was one of my friends.
There you go.
She was a year older than me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got into that because of that.
Okay, because I looked it up. I looked up U of T SFS, and it said students for sick kids.
Oh my
God. I
God.
was like, what are the odds? And I was like, no, that's not what it is.
I think I said it. I might have given the acronym wrong.
Oh no, that's okay. That's okay. No, the other one was U of T LEI, which is Language Exchange Initiative Club.
Yes.
That one is right.
One.
That one makes sense. But I'll ask you about all that stuff. But first, since we have this discovery that we went to the same high school, maybe tell me about your experience there, because I have talked about it a lot here about how good I think the school is, maybe even better in your time because you got there before me, and I heard that before when I was going in, it was like top 20 in the province.
Yes.
And then when my year got there, it started to drop. I don't know if it was our class's fault. Everyone there was a dumbass, but it was pretty good when you were there. So
yeah, it was great actually. When I have older cousins that also went there, and it was I think the ranked first in French schools at that time.
That's awesome.
Because I think everybody in that grade got a 90s and aboves. They really boosted the average of the school. But yeah, it was an awesome. I personally enjoyed it because I made friends, a lot of friends, and I was also in a lot of the advanced classes. So I didn't see that much of the, I didn't have students that were
goofing
noisy,
around.
rowdy. Yeah, exactly right. And if they were, it didn't matter to me because I would sit in the front.
Right.
So
Right.
I was like a nerd, full on nerd. I'm gonna put that out there right now.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but I feel at the time, because I was the school put so much pressure academically wise. If you were smart, you had to go into IB.
Absolutely.
They forced you into IB.
Yep.
It wasn't even do you want to do it? It was no, you go into IB.
Yeah.
I remember when I came back after when I got sick and everything, they still tried to keep me in the program. But what happened is that I didn't want to continue because it was stressful and all that. And I was like, what's the point? I'm not going to go anywhere else, because before I got sick, I had these whole plans to go to other universities, see the world and everything. But now I'm not going anywhere, so I might as well just not do it. So they just placed me on the IB classes. So I got the experience, but I didn't have to take the test.
Wow.
That's a good one.
That's huge. That is huge. Why do you think they pushed IB so heavily? Because I took pre-IB courses and then I took 2 classes and I really wasn't feeling it. I felt like I was missing out on the social aspect and then got into, like you said, those rowdy classes. But and that was a good experience in a different way. Obviously, academically, the other stuff's more challenging. And then, but why do you think that they had such an emphasis on it?
I think they had an emphasis on it because they were ranked so highly. Like I was telling you a while back, like 3 years before I hit 10th grade, I would say my older cousin's grade. So they were all really, really smart. Like they were all like, they really hiked up the standing of the school.
Oh, yeah.
Really high up. And that's how we got like the Microsoft Showcase things and all that jazz, you know? And like more funding and you get all that.
Right.
And like IB was also $1,000, right? To apply for the program, to like stay in the program, to do the exams and all that. It's like they got a certain revenue of that money back. I mean,
makes sense.
So they wanted you to stay in there. And they're also like, oh, well, you're smart. You'll do great things if you do the IB. You'll be able to access more opportunities, do more things. But it's like, we're at the same university as a lot of people that didn't do IB.
Exactly.
What's the point? You know, spending $1,000 in 11th grade and $1,000 in 12th grade. Pay for exams that you're going to like be stressed about when you're going to enter university anyways.
Right.
What's the point of stressing yourself out in high school?
Yeah, no, I completely hear you because IB, the acronym itself stands for International Baccalaureate, and I knew that I wasn't leaving Canada. So then I was like, I talked to one of the teachers, I'm not gonna say who, but he was like, they push this shit. You don't need it if you're staying here, don't worry. And I was like, okay, thank you very much. And I just took the regular academic TLE classes, right? And once again, like you said, we're here. There's a lot of people here who didn't take IB. And even I talked to my friend's sister, who like on an episode of this, and she went to University of Manchester without doing IB. So
great.
It's it's interesting. Like most of the great schools are pretty close to us.
Yes, we have amazing universities here and around the area.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, tell me why you chose U of T. You were doing IB. Did you finish in IB?
No, so I only took the classes, didn't take the exams.
Only took the class. Sorry.
Yeah, only took the classes, didn't take the exams.
Why was there ever a moment in your mind where you wanted to leave Canada to study?
Yes.
Yeah.
Before I got sick, as I told you, so what happened is that in 10th grade, I don't know if you had that experience, but I took the IB, the higher level chemistry IB classes. Yeah. So I took one of those, and I remember doing that, and I was like, oh, hey, maybe I'll apply to, because it was my dream to go to Harvard.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that because, you know, like if you're giving all that energy into academics, might as well go to like a school that's like...
The best of the best.
Yeah, the best of the best, right? And I was like, oh, this is going to look so good on my application. And like doing volunteering and all that because I was really into it. I was really into that. I had like a God complex when it came to my intelligence. Yes. And that's why I did IB. But then afterwards, when I got sick, I was like, okay, look, I have to stay here for 6 kids anyways. Why move? Why go anywhere? And now I'm kind of regretting that. But also, I feel like I diverged from the original question, which was, why did I come to U of T? Engineering. It was just for engineering. U of T has one of the best engineering programs, not going to lie. My dad did a part of his master's here at U of T, and he really enjoyed that. And he worked for the city of Toronto. I don't know, he resurfaced some of the roads that are around the school too. It's pretty cool. And the Humber River Bridge, I don't know the pedestrian bridge, if you know that. That bridge also, he helped build that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, they have the best, oh, that made a noise.
You're good. Your camera's okay.
Okay. Yeah, so they have one of the best engineering programs, but also the life science program is pretty good. Here, I have cousins that went to medical school at U of T and all that. And I was like, why not challenge myself? Like they did their undergrads at McMaster. Why not do my undergrad here and then apply to medical school from here? Like, you know, internally. So don't have to switch grades because they had an issue with that back then.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so that was the reason why. It's like they have good programs, and I still have my God complex when it comes to my intelligence.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Do you
right?
still sit at the front of the class in lectures?
Still sit in the front of the class.
Respect. I'm going to ask you more about U of T, your expectations. I'll fix this camera and we'll get back into it. Okay, quick break. Sorry about that.
No
We're
worries.
back at it. Something I wanted to know was your expectations of what U of T would have been like versus when you got here. You've been here, you've almost graduated.
Yes.
You can kind of tell the full picture, tell the full story. What's your experience been like versus what you thought it might have been in high school?
Okay, so when I was in high school, I knew it would be academically rigorous. Like, I'm going to talk on the academic standard because I didn't really think of anything else apart from school. Yeah, I thought it would be like academically rigorous, and like it would the classes would be difficult. Like, it was expected, but I didn't expect like the language shift because we went to French school, right?
Right.
And I think at that point I only spoke French.
Yeah.
Like, I could speak English. Like, I wasn't that bad, I would say, but it's like going from doing sciences to from French to like English, and that was like a huge switch.
Yeah.
That was a huge thing. It was like math, it was fine. Like math, because numbers, you know.
Right.
But then like doing biology and memorizing these terms in English, and I would translate everything from English to French in my brain, then retranslate it into English when I was doing exams.
Yeah.
And like that would take significant like energy.
Absolutely.
But also everything was online, and I was a super slow typer.
Right.
Like back then, and that was a stressful time. I remember one day I couldn't even give back an exam. Like, I didn't have time to scan it because that's how I would translate everything in my brain, write it down, and then do that. And then when it was time to scan it, I had like 5 minutes left, and the scanner wasn't working, and I could have said, and I remember I broke down and cried, because prior to that, I had never gotten under an 85 in anything.
In anything,
except for sports, but I don't count that.
That doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Yeah, and I've never gotten that, and never felt so stupid at that moment. But then in second year, I started understanding. In second year, my study methods changed. It was like I wasn't studying to study. It was like I was studying for the kind of questions they would give us. Like, if they would give us practice questions, I would analyze the trends in the questions, and I would study for these type of trends. Yeah. And that's how my grades started boosting. I think in first year, my average was 3.3. Wow. Which was pretty low, and last year my average was a 4.0.
Incredible.
So like it went up.
See, a lot of people watching this here in 3.3 is low are starting to feel a bit nervous around that.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I would think so.
In life science, pretty low.
In life science is low?
Yeah.
I guess because you have a lot of kids trying to get into med school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's so competitive.
Absolutely.
I hate it. I hate it.
Do you think the U of T's competitive culture is good or bad thing?
Okay, so it's nice because it gives people drive. But at the same time, like, if you're going to ask me for notes, I will give you my notes. I don't care, because you know what? I learn better if I'm teaching somebody. Yeah, and if I'm going to teach you, it's going to be better for me. But some people, they will gatekeep their notes. Yeah. And I'm like, why? Yeah. I don't see what's the point. Like, you already have them. Might as well give them to somebody that's in need. Mm-hmm. And then... Like, I was never the kind of person to not help a person, I guess. That's my thing. But, like, people don't understand how beneficial it is to help people in things. It's like, I want to get a better grade, but I don't want to get a better grade than you. I'm fine with the grade I'm getting. I know I'm smart. Right. I don't need to prove it to you. You're just a random person, right? Absolutely. I'm going to get into med school, fine. Yeah,
that's awesome. So is that the goal then for you? You try to get into med school, you want to be a doctor? What do you want to be?
I do want to be a doctor. Like, I do want to work in the medical field. Doesn't have to necessarily be a doctor, but I feel like med school has that thing, that like push that I want in life. Like, I like to keep busy, and I think that will keep me busy. But also, getting into med school, I'm gonna do like stepping stones first. I'm gonna try to work as a nurse, maybe get some clinical experience, all that. Sorry. And then work my way up like that. Like, do nursing and then maybe something else, or masters or something, just to get it. I like to keep busy. I like to keep academically stimulated.
That makes sense.
I love learning.
So in U of T, you're basically at the pinnacle of what academic stimulation is in this country, right? I would think so, especially for life science, because U of T in life sciences is great. It's huge. I've heard, at least. Its reputation is incredible. Mm-hmm. So beyond academics, do you do other stuff that stimulates you, or are you just like, are you one of these, what's the word? academic weapons that are like, I'm here to get the grades, I'm here to work, I'm here to do this, I'm here to do that. Do you ever, I guess, consider the social aspect? Does it worry you that perhaps you're missing out on that side of things? Because I know a lot of academic students, I think that, because people comment on like, oh, U of T students are more antisocial, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, I don't think that they necessarily want to be social because they're so driven in terms of what they want to achieve grades wise. Is that the case for you or no?
No, I like being social.
Yeah.
I like having friends. I like going to like events.
Not a controversial take. That's pretty good. Yeah.
It's a controversial.
Not a controversial.
Oh, not
take.
a.
No.
Sorry, my ears.
You're good. You're
my hearing
good.
is. Yeah, I think I like. Okay, I had friends in high school, and I like my friend group that I have, but I also think that quality is better than quantity.
Absolutely.
You know, like
Absolutely.
finding good friends.
Yep.
That's important. So I try to talk to everybody because you miss 100% of the chances you don't take, right?
Absolutely.
So talk to everybody. I like to, before introduce myself to people.
Yep.
Like talk to random people on the street. I don't really care.
Incredible.
I don't have that social
yeah.
anxiety sometimes. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so
I think
is your circle as academic as you are? Is basically maybe a good question. Is
that's a better question.
do you
Yeah.
guys build each other up in that way?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I currently have a friend that's doing her master's here. I have like most of my friends my friends from GSF. Like I have a really good friend. She's doing comp sci here.
Yeah.
Have another one that graduated with a bachelor's in chemistry from U of T. Another one that was in my same program. She's like working in the US right now. It's like we were very academically driven in general because I don't party and I don't do a lot of those things.
Me neither.
I try to keep,
Clean.
plain. Yeah, that's.
Oh no, I meant clean.
Clean? No, plain is a good word.
Plain's better.
I like plain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, my end goal this life is to become rich.
Yeah.
To get that money,
You're money driven.
Expensive tastes.
Yeah.
I like to spend money on
That's fair.
clothes and fashion and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's funny because a lot of people don't necessarily want to like to admit that, but I don't think there's anything too wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with being materialistic. This world is materialistic. I don't care.
There you go.
I will want those Louboutins, I want those.
Yeah.
I want that like Stuart Weitzman outfits. I want those brands. I want to go to Holt Renfrew. I was talking to you about that earlier. I want to, have a sales associate I can call every single time and be like, do you have new things?
So, okay, so let me ask you about that then. Is it because you're a big fan of the brands, or is it because they're just hard to get and it's like a flex?
Oh, I'm a fan of anything that looks nice.
Okay.
I don't really care. But the expensive stuff always looks better.
Right.
Like the expensive perfumes, they always smell better. Like recently I got a hairspray from Maison Dijon, I think that's the name, and it's the Baccarat Rouge one. Yeah. I don't know if you know that one, but like I love the smell. It smells great. It has long lasting power. It's like expensive things tend to be nicer. You put them in the wash or like you dry clean them. They stay. They maintain their shape. Yeah. Which I like. 100%. I just like pretty clothes. I like pretty clothes, pretty things that smell good. Yeah. Good customer service, and that's something you get by having money.
By paying for it. Absolutely. It's true. Like I talk about this sometimes too. I talk about it a lot with food, because food, like what you are what you eat, because what you put in your body, health is so important. And like you need money to buy good quality food. If you are in the lower tier of income, if you're in the lower bracket of income of earning potential, right? You can't afford to you're putting yourself in danger if all you can afford is fast food or like, once again, grocery store food that might not necessarily be of the best quality. And if you want, once again, I think eventually meat's going to become incredibly expensive because of all this environmental pushing and how the cows are bad. And, if you're a vegan and you can, help the environment more, I think eventually it's going to come to a point where like meat is only for people in like the top 20%, which is kind of scary to think about. So I'm like, I put my health above almost everything. I think the three things, I've heard that money can buy everything except for health and relationships. So
that's true.
Health, once again.
But money can buy health and relationships indirectly,
Indirectly. Well, I guess health with the food.
Yes, health with the food. And like in relationships, they put you in higher income circles. Like you have a better chance in getting a partner that's like, stable.
Right.
Like in every aspect, like
You have to be able to
mentally,
provide.
financially. Yes.
Yeah.
That's my dream. A husband that lets me stay home.
Really?
And like just pursue academic endeavors, you know, just like not have to worry about money.
Yeah.
That's my dream.
So,
Dream.
Okay, so you say that, but you are money driven.
I'm money driven. I've always been money driven.
Yeah.
But now there's a little bit more of a social aspect because, you know, I got sick. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I do want to help people
Yeah.
as well. I want to be able to spend on clothes, clothes, food, and
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah.
I like to give to charities. It's
Absolutely.
my thing. Like, I like to give back maybe to the hospital that's spent a long time taking care of me.
Yeah.
Like the people that helped me a lot, because Sickkids was great. Sickkids is an awesome place.
100%.
As a hospital, it's great.
100%. Okay, so you say that. Do you think that that is something that a lot of people believe? Like you say, if I can put myself in a situation where I can just pursue my academic stuff, I have a husband that can provide all this kind of thing. A lot of people I feel today are like shifting away from that. They're like saying, oh, that's not good, that's bad. Why do you think there's like such a negative connotation to that life's choice?
I don't know.
You don't know, right?
If they're like, oh, well, you can't want people for their, like, what they can give you. You need to like them for their personality and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess, but people are going to be crappy either way. Might as well have a crappy husband that's rich. what's the point of having a garbage, like, relationship if the person is, like, poor? Like,
No, I hear you. If they can't provide, no, I understand what you're saying. Because like the way that you show love to people is that you can, you know, look out for them. If you say, I love you so much, and then you don't have enough money to move your family when there's about to be a war in your town, how much do you really love them?
facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can be nice, but like if you can't do anything about it, if they're going to die with you, like, I don't know, like that, I think that loving someone is being able to keep them safe and keep them well and healthy and all these things we've been talking about. So yeah, like when it comes to materialism, I say to my girlfriend sometimes, I'm like, one day I would love to own a supercar. She's like, that's materialistic. I'm like, it's not materialistic. I consider it a life trophy. He's like, what do you mean I consider it a life trophy? I don't care about the car because it's cool, because it's red or drives fast. I just like the idea of being able to have something that's hard to get. I like the idea of being able to achieve things that most people can't achieve. I think that most people do enjoy that. Maybe they don't want to admit it, but like if I won the lottery in a lottery ticket and I bought a car, it would not mean anywhere near the same as if I found a way to work and earn to a point where I could buy a car. I don't know.
Yes, that is true. That's how I feel about academics.
Right.
What's the point of having a degree if like somebody's paying for it? Like somebody is paying somebody else to like do your degree for you, like do your homework, do this, do that. If you're not earning that degree by your blood, sweat, and tears, I don't think you should be earning that degree. That's my point of view when it comes to schooling. When it comes to cars, I'm actually the opposite. Like if I think it's pretty and red, I would like like it. It's pretty.
That's
I like
fair.
pretty things.
There you go. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about this. This is a kind of a random topic, but sitting at the front of the class, I think is underrated.
Really?
Yes, I do. I think that people that for the longest time sat in the back and just kind of, I didn't want like to, I don't know. I feel sitting in the front, everyone can see you. You can just chill, but you shouldn't want to chill. You know, you should want to be working. You should want to be focused. At least when I sit in the front, I'm always like, I can't go on to a page. I can't go look at my VoV channel while people are behind me because they're going to see, what is this dumbass doing not focused on the class? When I'm at the front, people can peek down and see my screen, so I better be typing my notes. Do you think of it that way, or you just think of it, I don't care about anyone behind me, I'm trying to just get these grades?
I don't care about anybody behind me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I online shop during class.
Okay.
It's like I just like sitting in the front because like the teacher sees you, the teacher knows you.
Yeah.
And by experience, like the TAs, sometimes they know you well. And I don't want to say this because I feel like this is like something bad to say, but if they know you, like they'll grade you less harsh.
You think so?
Trust me. Yes. I know so.
You know so.
I know so.
Okay.
I've been a teacher's pet for a very long time. I know this. I know this. Yes.
There you go.
But that's the thing. It's if you want to get good grades, make sure you know who's grading you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
There's also a bit of an illusion too when you're at the front. It feels like it's a smaller class. It feels more personal when it's not. Like there's still 100 people behind you. But when you could see the 100 people, it's like this teacher doesn't care about me. This class is whatever. It's just mass education, blah, blah, blah. Whereas when you're in the front, it kind of puts you back in like kind of a high school mindset where it's like, oh, it's me and these 5 kids beside me and the teacher. And it's like, I don't know. I think that small class sizes do help learning quite a bit.
Yes, they do. They definitely do.
Yeah. What's the biggest class you've ever been in?
I guess it was an immunology class. I think it was like 400 kids.
400?
Yeah.
Where is that? Is that Con Hall?
No, it was at what was that? McLeod Auditorium in MedSci.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in there. 2158. That was the class code. I remember that because it's such a big class. And then it flooded one day when we had class, so we didn't have class for 2 weeks. But that's an aside story.
I feel like I remember that. When was that?
Like 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, maybe because I have life science friends.
Oh,
It's difficult.
nice.
It's difficult. I'm in a psychology minor.
Oh.
And I need to have a grade 12 bio credit to be like accepted into the minor. I didn't take grade 12 bio in JSF, so I had to do bio 120 last year.
How did you like that?
It's real. I am not a bio student, but I respect the bio students because I was so out of place. These people were so like, I feel like they knew exactly what they were talking about. It was such a basic stuff for them, but for me, it's like, what the hell are we talking about? Frogs, all this type of thing. Like the evolution, like red frogs, green frogs. I'm like, okay, evolution interests me. So it was good in that sense, but like a lot of the other things beyond evolution were a bit of a hard to grasp onto. But
well, if it's any consolation, I didn't like that class.
you didn't like that class?
I didn't like. I don't want to say it. I'm not gonna say it, but I didn't like that class for a reason. But yeah, I didn't like that class at all. I'd much rather bio 130, which is kind of what I do.
The cells, yeah,
cells. Cell system biology. It's kind of the whole building block of what I do. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So
Wait, 120.
That's fair. What? No, I'm not going to ask you that. I'm going to save this question for later. We're going to talk about self-improvement eventually. But for now, I want to learn more about these clubs you're a part of.
Okay, so the SFS one is pretty new. So School French Speaking Society, for people that didn't hear what I said earlier.
Yeah.
It's basically this French club for the engineering students that brings like French speakers or people that want to learn French all together.
Yeah.
And what I do is, I believe I'm the Discord VP or something, but the point of what I did is that I created a whole Discord server for the club for general members. So members, like, we debuted it, but we don't have enough like traction yet to actually start activities. But we were planning on doing like activities to help people maintain their French, learn French, maybe like meet other French speakers around campus to befriend people. And it's not exclusive to schools. It's not exclusive to engineering.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for everybody, because I'm not an engineering student. Yeah, it's for everybody, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. Like there's going to be an event happening, I believe, in Bahen on the 5th of November. So if this episode comes up before then, I don't know. Yeah, they'll have like a table that introduces what the club does, and I believe it's like a fall activity too, and like all that jazz. And so the LEI was a club that it was like a weird indirect way that I joined this club. So I had a friend, a Turkish friend, and he was teaching Turkish in the club way back in 2021. And he befriended me because he had a Mauritian friend, like a Chinese Mauritian friend. Yeah. And he was like, oh, I want to introduce you guys. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know. Like, there was a lot more Mauritian people here than expected. Yeah. Yeah, and then he introduced me, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, a student-run club where you have student volunteers teaching other kids voluntarily. I mean, for CCR crediting, but voluntarily languages, and it's like this nice atmosphere, and you meet people that come from everywhere. Like, at some point, we had an exchange student that came from Japan, and she was teaching Kansai dialect.
What's that?
It's like, I believe, a dialect of Japanese.
Oh, right. I guess makes sense. I didn't understand when I learned apparently in China there's like like 8 different dialects or something. There's something crazy. Once again, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna pretend to try to figure it out now. I don't got like hours on end. Someone tried to explain it to me, and I was like, No idea. Don't get it. But anyway, sorry. Continue. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's nice to hear that. I actually didn't know they probably have more than 8 dialects in China.
Probably.
But still.
Probably.
Yeah. They got a lot of people.
Chinese viewers can correct me, please.
Yes. So a lot of people teaching other kids languages, their native languages. Like I taught French at some point because French speaker here.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was fun. That was a good experience. And then I ended up coordinating the teachers. So like recruiting French teachers, English teachers, maybe like we had like a bunch of, I would say obscure, but we had a bunch of languages from India, like Marathi, we had Malayalam, we had, what did we have? We had like Hebrew at some point. We had Ukrainian, we had Russian, we had Spanish, lots of Spanish speakers. Yes, and it was just a good vibe, good experience. I met a dear friend in that club. She was the advanced French teacher, and she's super cool. I don't know if I can say this. I don't know if she listens to this, but she graduated master's in occupational therapy. That's pretty cool at U of T. And
Fantastic.
She was a neuroscience student here. She also did her undergrad here. And it's super cool. You meet a lot of interesting people, other people, met some lawyers. That's nice. Good to have that on the back end.
Yep, absolutely.
You never know when you need legal advice. I recently needed some legal advice, but
For what?
for class,
For
actually.
class?
Yeah, because it was this whole policy issue. So technically in a summer class, when they should give you 10% of your final grade before the drop date. Before the drop date, that's a key word. Legal terminology is very specific.
Yep.
Before. So what happened in this class, I couldn't drop the class because I got, I saw the rest of the 10% that I had in that class after. So the day after the final drop date. But they released it on the final drop date. So I was like, look, this is wrong. And I think they kind of got scared that I would pursue more about it. So they just were like, oh, just LWD the class. It's not going to affect you in any way. I'm like, okay, if it's not going to affect me, you better make sure it's not going to affect me.
Yeah.
So I made them put that in writing on a document. And I was like, if
You
I
were
apply
printing that out on paper. Yeah.
Yes, I was like, I need that proof. Like, if something, like, this is my thing. If academically somebody wrongs me, I will make sure to pursue it.
Yeah. I bet
don't
you would,
care.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Anyways, yeah. So that's what happened with me during the summer. So that's also the reason why I'm back here.
Yeah.
Because of that one class.
So my guess is that your first language is English, right?
Ironically, my first language was French.
It was French.
French, and then I learned English, and I couldn't speak French, and then I went back to learning French because Mauritius, they speak a lot of French.
Absolutely.
And I know Creole, I know French, I know English, I know Spanish. I'm learning Japanese.
Wow.
Learning Korean.
How do you learn all these languages? Duolingo?
Duolingo. I also, as I was telling you, that language club. Learned a lot of things from that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And this is the thing, like I was talking to Professor Juan Carlos, he's a Spanish professor at U of T, and he's saying that I think a mistake that he said business students think is that to learn a language, you need to like know every word in the language, but it's not necessary at all. Like when people say they speak 7 languages, it's not that they know every word in every language, it's that they can at least hold a conversation and go back and forth with someone. Yes. So when you are talking about these clubs in specific, maybe tying it into your career path, do you think that like being bilingual, or I guess multilingual in your case, is going to help you in the medical field? Do you think that's something that's important? Do you think that, especially with the advance of technology, like we have translators now, do you think that's maybe making like language for people like being bilingual less valuable? What do you think?
I don't think it would.
No.
Because you always need a human connection. Like AI can do so much.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have that human touch. It doesn't have that ability to talk to a grandma that's like struggling with something.
Right.
Or like to appease a child that's like worried about something and maybe wants to be reassured in their native language. So that's why I would like to do that. But also I want to travel to other countries, see other things, you know, be that.
Absolutely.
And it's also for my entertainment.
Yep.
And as I said, I like to learn. And if I'm like not doing anything, I feel I hate it.
Yeah.
I need to do something. So that's why languages gives me that boost too. So I would say language learning is my hobby.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
That's a sad hobby.
No, that's so productive. That's so productive. There's so many trash hobbies out there that we were talking about. Like there's so much possibility to waste your time with things. And language learning, that's an incredible hobby. There's so many, like there's so much to do. I feel there's so many skills that you can acquire just to make yourself a better person. And it's like, it's sad that some people either don't think it's wasting time when they're, in their 20s, and I'm not even going to start listing off the awful hobbies, but people know, like, I think people know when they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Like, I know I sometimes get caught on Instagram for longer than I'm supposed to.
Instagram too.
Absolutely. And I it's not like I defend it though. No. Like there are people out here who are like, no, it's fine. You could scroll, blah, blah, blah. No, it's fine. I can go get drunk every weekend. No, it's fine. I can do all this, blah, blah, blah. I sometimes get caught doing things I'm not supposed to do, but then I come on here and I'll be like, yeah, this is actually not good for you. And I need to stop scrolling on Instagram so much. I need to stop doing this. And it's good to also put it even publicly, because like there's some accountability, not even publicly, like a video like this. This is not necessary at all. Just tell your friend, even tell someone that you can kind of like keep in touch with and kind of tell you or call you on your shit. So I don't know about you. You seem very good in your academics. You seem very good in terms of being productive and not wasting time. Language learning is a hobby for you. But a question I want to ask is, as a hardcore student, as a hardcore intense U of T student, front of the class, does ChatGPT piss you off?
Yes, because I don't have a ChatGPT account. I don't use it.
Right. The thing is that there's a bunch of kids who would be doing way worse, but then now they're competing with you.
I know. I hate it so much. I'm like, excuse me, like, why? Okay, I have to admit, like, I have to say that maybe it's because I don't really know how to use these things. Like, I'm like, that's why I'm saying, oh, I don't use it. Maybe it's bad or anything, because ignorance is the purveyor of fear. But I also think that is bad. Like, it's killing creativity. It's killing good ideas. Like, you can just go somewhere like on thing and be like, oh, what should I do for this project? It's like, you have to think and do it yourself. So 100%. You're never going to catch me dead going on Our Original and being like, hey, this is AI generated. That ain't me. I don't even have an account with ChatGPT or any of those other AIs, except maybe for Siri. I don't know if that counts. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. I've said I'm not really that technologically savvy.
Absolutely. No, it's just like with the dumbest stuff too. Like we were carving pumpkins and we were trying to think of an idea to carve a pumpkin for, and they were like, Google it or like ask ChatGPT. I'm like, no, just think, just use your brain.
Yes,
just think, we can figure something out.
Yeah.
It ended up being like Spider-Man eyes, like big scary. Like, you see that pumpkin over there, ironically, kind of like that, but the mouth was very small with its tongue sticking out. Oh. So it's like half scary, half cute, but like you just think of things. Yes. You know what I mean? So this is something I was talking about yesterday too. On the bus in elementary school, because I'm from Orangeville. Oh. And the bus ride to JSF was like an hour and a half each way. Yeah. So that was a pain in the ass. But in elementary school, I was very close to my school. I was maybe like 5-10 minute bus ride away. Nice. And on the bus, we'd play rock, paper, scissors, like religiously. And I remember we had a bus driver who got pissed because we'd play it through the aisle. And she always was very strict about having the aisle very clear. And if kids were having their hands out, she'd get back there and be like, get your hands in the damn seat. And I was like, okay. But anyways, we'd like try to sneak play rock, paper, scissors. And it was so fun. I remember, I was just thinking about it. I remember it was so fun. 007, you know 007 when you do this, like reload the gun, block, whatever.
Yes.
This stuff was amazing. But now I'm hoping to have kids shortly, not like in the next few months, like still in school, but like once I'm out of school and, got a career and all that kind of thing. I love to have kids. But even if my kid is not on the screens, like if I not get him any of this stuff, if I keep him off technology, it's not easy to do, but if like I try hard to do that, it'd be hard for him to have friends because everyone else on the bus is going to be a screen monkey. It's a new term I invented, a screen monkey. These like 5-year-olds with iPhones.
Yes.
How is he supposed to make friends and play rock, paper, scissors and piss off his bus driver through the aisle when everyone else is on like Roblox or whatever they play? I don't even know.
Like, oh my gosh, it was so scary to me because I knew kids like that. Like, I had a nephew who was 8 teaching my dad how to use his iPhone. I was like, what is this? Why do you know how to play Monopoly? Do you know how to play like a board game? Do you know how to play Snakes and Ladders? Do you even know what that is? Like, I'm like, it worries me too with 100%. That. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep if I had kids, God God forbid I don't, but I want
Yeah.
kids too.
Yeah.
But if I have kids, I will let them have a screen, maybe use screen time. Because I watched a lot of TV when I was a kid, but I'm not letting them watch like Ryan's Toys reviews or like all those like brain rotting shows. They're watching educational shows with me. You're gonna learn how to do multiplications with me at 5. Like that's what my parents taught me. They gave me the TV. They put me in front of TVO Kids. Like I was watching the news at like 6. Like that's what I was watching.
That's awesome.
Like you're watching the same things as I did. Like you're gonna have your phone. You can text your friends around. You're not spending your whole time on that. You're good old fashioned fun.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm talking like my dad when I say things like that, but I'm starting to get baby boomers. Like the older you get, you start 100%. To get what they say. It's like maybe like sure, he doesn't understand how to use like these technologies most of the time, and maybe that's why he doesn't want like people to use them, because he doesn't want to be the only one left out. But at the same time, I'm like, I understand why you're angry that everybody's on their cell phone. It's like I heard like people nowadays, they don't know how to hold eye contact. They don't know how to look at a person when they're talking. And I think that's so bad.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, how are you gonna like survive in the world if you can't look at a person straight in their face? Well,
no, you're good.
Okay, look at a person straight in their face and talk to them.
Absolutely.
And to keep that eye contact, they're always looking at their phone. There was like the story I heard of this, because I'm Muslim, so sometimes I do Jummah, like today's Friday prayer. But sometimes I listen to the talks online, and there was this imam guy, and he was talking about how there was one of his students that he was talking to the student, and the student was looking at his phone every single time. Like, he wasn't even looking at him, looking at his phone, like being like, yeah, and whatever. He took the phone away from the student, and then the guy kept on looking at his hand. There was nothing in it. There was nothing. He just kept looking at his hand, and the imam was like, why? Why are you doing this? Why can't you look at me in my eyes, look at my face, and like talk to me? And I'm like, no, I don't want that.
It's fear. People are scared to make eye contact with people. It's so crazy. I don't know. Like another thing that I've noticed too is like, what do they say? Chivalry is dead. Like gentlemanliness. I will hold the door at the dining hall or in residence for a girl, and it's so crazy. Like every time, like not like just walk through the door myself and keep it open for them. I mean, like actually step back, let them go through first. And the like shock and smile on their face when the man has opened the door for them is crazy. It's like nobody does that anymore. Everyone's scared. Everyone's looking at their phone. If you make eye contact with someone, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? It's so awkward. It's like, dude, we're human beings. Go to the same school. If we got into a huge like conflict, if there was a street fight across into TMU and it was TMU versus U of T and you notice that same guy, you'd want to be on his team. You'd be like, oh my God, I notice you. There's immediately that connection. There's a saying, I forget. I feel like everyone attributes like historical cool sayings from like 1,000 years ago to Japan. I don't know. Maybe I just do that. Maybe that's really stupid. But I feel like there's an old Japanese saying that they say it's me versus my brother. Me and my brother versus my cousin, and the three of us versus the world or something, or like the strangers, or I forget exactly how it's put, but basically it's like you have small rivalries, you have small like I guess contention between people in close communities. So like you look at hockey rivalries, for example. I'm from Orangeville. We have a hockey rivalry perhaps with a team in Angus, but then if you go and you look at the NHL, all these local teams cheer for Toronto. And then it's the Toronto Maple Leafs fans versus the Montreal Canadiens fans. And then there's that. But then when you go to the Olympics, the Toronto Maple Leafs fans and the Montreal Canadiens fans all cheer for Team Canada. So when you have something like this, this is like the base root of like your team. You go to the same school. You don't even go to U of T. You actually go to the Victoria College. You're in the same residence. You live in the same building. And you can't even say hello or acknowledge that they exist. It's scary.
I know. I hate that. Oh my gosh. I was shocked too. Like I feel you on that. Like the girls like looking like being like, oh my gosh, he opened the door for me. I had that happen once for me, and I was like, oh, you didn't slam the door in my face? Oh, that's nice, I guess. Or like you opened the door for somebody. Have you ever? I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but you opened the door for somebody and they look at their phone. No thank you, no acknowledgement, no nothing, and I'm like, come on, like. Just look at the person. It's like, do you have to be that? I like bow at people when they open the door for me. I'm like, better be nice.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's people are disrespectful, or do you think people are just afraid and nervous and shy?
I think like there's that at some extent, but I think some people are just disrespectful.
Yeah.
I think like they're, cause like I know that there are people that will not talk to you because you look a certain way or you're not a certain ethnicity, or like they won't like acknowledge that you exist. And I know I don't want to say that because I want to assume that we're in Canada, you know, everybody's nice and open, but that's not the case here. Yeah. Especially in the program that, like, not the program, but in like the lifestyle area.
You think so?
You see a lot of people that are not as open. Like I think when I came to Victoria College and everybody was so nice. Oh,
sorry about that.
It's okay. Everybody was so nice and like polite, and in general, or like they bump into you, they're like, oh, sorry, and like all that. And sometimes when I would go to lectures when I was in first and second year, and there was like a lot of people and a lot of like, a lot of life science students, and it's not even they're nervous, it's just like because they will go to the teacher and talk to them. You can't be nervous when you do that. But it's just that they're not nice, they're not kind. They think that kindness is like a weakness. Like you cannot be kind and be smart at the same time. You can't be kind and be like successful at the same time, which is so dumb.
Or like kind and strong even. Like that's the thing that a lot of guys worry is, like, nice guys finish last. It's like nice guys finish last if all they are is nice. If you can be nice and strong, like it's not that the niceness makes you weak, it's the weakness that makes you weak. If you're a weak person and you're nice, like it has nothing to do with the nice. There's if who's like a super cool guy that every girl loves? I don't know. LeBron James.
Okay.
Or Shaq. Let's do Shaq because he's super big.
O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal can be the nicest guy ever. Nobody thinks that he's a pushover or anything because he's strong, because he's a big man. If you're, and I'm not even talking about physically, I'm just talking like if you
like personality wise. Strong personality.
Confident.
Not disingenuous. Like some of these, like they say they're nice guys. Like I've had experience with nice guys. And they're like so disingenuous. Absolutely. They're like, their kindness is weirdly conditional upon if you say yes to them or something. It's like, I'm sorry, like I'm strong, confident, like you offer me nothing, you put nothing on the table, why should I say yes to you? Absolutely. Why should I, like, if you had something to bring to the table, I would say yes, that would be attractive, that would be nice, that would be like, you will be strong in my eyes, I'll find you attractive. But if you don't bring anything to the table, you're looking to the wrong girl to say yes to. This like asking for a yes.
These are great takes. We're going to take a break for the camera, jump right back into it. Okay. Something I wanted to ask you about is building up your confidence. I think it takes confidence to even come on this podcast as a guest. A lot of people are afraid of, having a longer form conversation on camera. And I think that...
I don't think I even looked at the camera.
Well, there you go. Forget they're there. It's just me and you here. But yeah, like I think that that's something you have to build. We were talking about the social issues people have in terms of either disrespect or being shy, and if people were more maybe socially aware, that would help. And it's not good enough to just talk about what the issue is. What do you think the fix is? What do you think the solution is? How do we help people move from point A of this versus point B of being like at least acknowledging someone?
I don't know if this is controversial, but forcing them.
Forcing them?
Way I force myself to be outgoing.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, I am an outgoing person. I can't say I'm not. But if I didn't push myself to be like, my motto in life is embarrass yourself before somebody else gets the opportunity to do it.
Great point.
That is my thing. So if I like put myself out there, I build my, like I do things that originally might give me a pit in my stomach or something. Like it does, like I'm forcing myself to do it. It helps you overcome like the thing, because if you fear something happening, like, and you don't do it, you're always going to keep that fear inside of you. Yep. Like you have to do it in order to see if it's actually scary or not.
That's right.
I think that's what we need more, like to, like, maybe not like as in forcing, like putting somebody like being like, oh, I'll, like I like
gunpoint.
But like just getting the child or like getting the person to the point where they want to do it, like they want to force themselves to do it. And like that's being said, there's nothing wrong by not doing it, but you're just missing on what life has to offer. There's so many things this life has to offer, beautiful things that this life has to offer. And you're only, because when you overthink, you're only thinking of the negatives. You're not thinking of good things, positive things or anything. Like you're never thinking of something good when you overthink.
Absolutely.
I hate to overthink. That's why I keep myself busy. You know?
There you go. You did mention that. We're coming full circle, right, to the start of the episode.
Full circle, full circle.
So for me, there's two things: self-accountability and karma. I say karma. For me, I honestly interpret karma and God as very similar things. It shocks me that people believe in karma but don't believe in God. Like, the way I interpret it is very much, if you do something good will happen to you. God's watching. If you do something bad, you'll be punished. If you do something good, you'll be rewarded. It's very simple. And when I say self-accountability, because I'm honest with myself when I think that being sociable and kind and acknowledging other people is important. And it's not only that it makes you good, it makes you, it's a duty. Like, you need to do it. It's not about, do you want to do it? Will it make people happy? It's like, if you don't, you get to this point where nobody talks to anyone, and we're so kind of like closed in on ourselves, and community starts to get destroyed. Like, everyone has to play their part. And it started, I don't know when I fully started believing in this, in God and karma and all this kind of thing, but it's the worst story ever. But I think it happened in a bathroom stall. Oh. Terrible story. I know it sounds weird, but let me explain, please. Okay. I was taking a leak. I was taking a pee in Margaret Addison Hall. Accidentally got a bit on the seat. I knew that if I left that bathroom without cleaning the seat, that a janitor could have walked in and saw it was me and be like, this guy just did this on the seat and didn't clean up his mess. Or even another student walks in, and those bathrooms are co-ed, so worse if it was a girl. Girl sees this guy pissing in the seat, is like, he's gross. The idea of getting caught scares me. And I realize that it's not even about getting caught by other people. There's someone watching all the time. Yes. And he sees when you do something bad and don't correct it. And even if it's something as innocent as being on the seat, someone else has to do that job. You are an adult. You clean up your own mess. So from that point forward, like, with anything that I do, I know, or maybe not I know, but I do genuinely believe that there is a force, whether you call it karma, whether you call it God, that is going to give you back exactly what you gave to, whether it's a person or the universe or whatever, that kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. I believe that too. I'm Muslim. I believe that. That's one of my core things. I know there's somebody watching me. Yeah. Like, there's somebody watching me. So I have to be the best person I can be.
I think it's important. Yes. It's important. And it's not even about, like, just believing it in itself. Like, when I try to explain to people who don't necessarily believe, the belief in God in itself, if it makes you a better person, then in a way it is real. Even if there's no physical being, if there are a bunch of humans in the world who do better things and are better people because they believe in God, God is real. It's crazy, but it's true. And that's how I kind of like to operate about things. Yes.
You're always a better person if you believe that there's a higher power that's looking at you. Yeah. I believe that personally. Now, other people might not, and that's totally fine with me. I don't really... What you do with your life is your life. Like, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't care. But, okay, maybe not I don't care. I do care. If that makes you happy, it's nice. Yeah. I like seeing people happy. But yeah, I think personally, I pray, and it helps you like reflect a lot on what's like genuinely wrong with yourself. Yeah, yeah. So when you introspect that much, when you're like thinking of that, because like you're talking to God and you're like, oh yeah, this is like, please forgive me in all the things. Like you know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and when you know yourself better, you are a better person. Because like you're so in touch with what you say. Like, think about yourself. Don't waste time thinking about what like other humans think about you, rather. Like, because if you're a good person, other humans won't say anything about you. But if you're a bad person, they're gonna talk about you. Like, because they say that, like, you can do one thing wrong in your life and that thing's gonna follow you for the rest of your life. It's going to follow you. Like, you say one thing wrong, you do one action that's bad, people know about it, that's gonna be your thing. So be known for something good, because like once you do that one thing, it's over. So always strive to be good. That's my thing. Always strive to be nice, always strive to be good. But if somebody crosses you, make sure you don't let them cross you. Don't be a pushover.
That's right.
Never be a pushover.
That's right. And you don't want to preach. This is something that I kind of struggle with. It's like, I don't want to preach. I'm not trying to be like, guys, God is real. It's great. You need to believe in him. But it's like, it's hard to not do it when I see how just that way of thinking has changed my life. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want it, once again, you don't, because it scares people away. You're like, this guy's crazy. He's screaming about God. He's screaming about all this kind of thing. Just like, back off, buddy. But like, it's hard. Like, I contain it because I know the effect it has. But just internally in my head, the way I'm processing it is that I know how I was before. I know the way I am now, and I'm better off now for changing that way of thinking. Yes. So in terms of self-confidence, because it's something a lot of people struggle with, how do you improve yourself in terms of your ability to come on here and speak and talk the way you do and that kind of thing?
I think the thing that I was mentioning about earlier is like, I only think basically about me. Basically about like, I'm doing this thing, this is going to help me. Like, it's nice to like, like when you're applying to like nursing school, applying to med school, applying to anything, right? Hello. Sorry, I have to do that when I see somebody. It's that's my thing.
That's what you're talking about. That's Krishna, acknowledging people. It's good.
Yes. Yeah, you have to. What was I saying? I don't remember anymore.
Talking about focusing on yourself.
Yes, yeah. I focus on myself. I focus, like I told you, I pray. I look at what's wrong with me, and I try to change that. It's like a couple of years ago. And also, in general, like, I know people don't want to say that because looks don't matter and blah, blah, blah. But when you look nice, people treat you better.
It's true.
Treat you better. That's one thing. So I like to ground myself, like maybe find skincare. Like, I'm a big skincare enthusiast. I love skincare. Awesome. Makeup, skincare, that's my thing. Hair care, I mean, yeah. I mean, my hair last year was to here. Look at how long it is now.
There you go.
Yes, it's just like improving the way I look in general, not just for me, but for everybody else that has to look at me. And I like being like prim and proper. Yeah. That's my thing. Yeah. Prim and proper. So even when I go to school, sometimes people wear sweats, and I wear sweats too. But if I wear sweats, I like to balance it out with like a nice earring, maybe some makeup. My hair is well done. Yeah. If I'm wearing a nice dress, my hair has to be well done. I have to have nice earrings. Yeah. Like thus coming back again full circle to why I like shopping. Yeah,
there you go.
Again,
absolutely.
Yes. That's how I boosted my self-confidence. But like, I know a lot of people don't perhaps have the financial ability that I do to improve myself in that way. And there's like easier ways you can improve yourself, like drink more water, for example. I know it's like generic advice.
True though.
But drink your water. Yeah. Drink it, because that helps clear out your skin. If you have nicer skin, that's also positive as well. If makes shinier hair, like it doesn't make you, also not a medical advice in any way, but it doesn't make you less hungry if you drink more water. It's like there's little things that you can change. Maybe, instead of, I eat a lot of sweet things. I won't lie. I do like to eat sweets. I have a big sweet tooth, but like maybe cutting it down a little bit or switching to sweeter things that are a little bit better for you. Maybe like some fruits, some dates. I really like dates. That's my all-time favorite thing. Yeah.
That's great. This is very actionable advice as well, because I was listening to, it was a show, an interview between Piers Morgan and Chris Williamson, and they were asking each other, what do you think is more important for young people today, for this generation? Is it mental strength or physical strength? And Piers Morgan gave his case for mental strength, and Chris Williamson gave his pitch for physical strength, because he says mental strength is downstream from physical strength. And what he was saying by that is, if you lack confidence, or if you're anxious, or if you're depressed, you have an ill mind. Your mind is basically sick, and a sick mind can't cure itself. So if you think you're going to think your way through it, or if you think you need to use your brain to kind of like logically find a way to make yourself not depressed, or to make yourself confident, it doesn't really work that way. But if you drink your water, if you maybe go to the gym, if you work on yourself, if you are physically more healthy, that's how you cure the mind. Because the best saying, a sick mind can't cure itself.
Yes.
So great advice for that. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming on this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Do you have any last thoughts you want to share? I want to give you the platform.
Thoughts? I hope everybody that's listening had a nice time. If you did listen, thank you very much. I'm really happy you did. And continue following and listening to Voices of Vic. I think they have a lot of good things, a lot of diverse opinions, a lot of diverse cast of people that come on here. I really like this podcast. It's fun.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Sooraya. Pronounced it right?
Got it right.
That is Sooraya Rosanally from JSF, from U of T. Thank you for watching. Follow us on Instagram at Voices of Vic, and we will see you next Sunday. Good luck with the rest of your academic journey.
Thank you.
And this is actually, I think this is episode 80, if you're okay with being the milestone for number 80.
Sure, why not?
There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching 80 episodes. We will see you next Sunday. Peace out.
No, should I say something to the camera?
Give them a peace out.
Oh, okay.